Welcome to Builder Buzz by Home Nation, where we bring in builders, developers, and everyday investors to talk about one of America's biggest opportunities, affordable housing. We'll talk about real costs, explosive growth, big mistakes, and tough lessons you won't learn anywhere else. Whether you're building homes, buying land, or just building big ideas, this podcast is for you. Hey, welcome to Builder Buzz. I have today with me Mike Chaffee. Mike, do you just want to go into a little bit of your company? You're a mobile home installer. Just give us an idea. You do a bit more than just installing homes, it sounds like. So if you just give our listeners an idea of what it is that you can provide.
Absolutely. So my dad started American Mobile Home Services a little over 20 years ago. And it's morphed from just siding and basic mobile home maintenance stuff all the way into mobile home setup and installers. And then I started helping Dad out a little bit after Hurricane Ian, when things got really crazy down here, and kind of came on and helped him with permitting and backside stuff. And we realized that we can kind of create a one-stop shop for mobile homes, because I've been a licensed realtor for 9 years. And we realized that we could help people buy and sell the land, and coordinate with companies like yours to get the homes produced and shipped to the site, and then we set them up. And then that turned into even more full service, where we can do the aluminum add-ons like the carports and the sheds, the driveways, the steps, the stairs. I mean, I'm sure you've seen homes that are just look like houses now, and it's amazing what they can do, and wrap around decks and add-ons. And it seems like the hottest trend right now too is raising them up as high as they can possibly go to. Yeah, there's a few right on the water here in Sarasota that we're putting up. One's going up 10 feet in the air on a permanent foundation where they can just drive the cars right underneath. And then there's some that want to meet the height elevation requirements with the county now, just to get out of the water and get out of the way. And the way they're built now, you've seen it too, is they're built very strong, so they can withstand a lot of these storms if they take care of them, but no one can run from water.
Yeah, it's true. You have to build for that. So was that the West Coast? Some of those jobs you're talking about, where do you work? So
right now, primarily we're Pinellas County all the way down to Naples is our core market. But when we have to travel outside of that, we just allocate that in the bids. And it's just a lot logistically, because we're a smaller company. So we don't have the people all over the state, but core demographic between Pinellas and Naples, we can knock that out really no problem.
Yeah. So Southwest Florida.
Yeah.
Pretty well. How many crews do you guys have?
Right now, I think it's 3 crews that we trust mightily. With the home raising, Dad has been in contact with 2 other crews that actually can operate cranes and put the whole halo lift system around the house and lift it up. With a lot of these ones that are in severe flood zones, like the one going up 10 feet, you actually have to wrap that, lift it up into the air higher than the 10 feet foundation and pillars that we're putting the houses on. And then you actually crane them down onto that that permanent foundation. So it's become quite technical now. And
really, that's crazy.
A lot to it. But the basic setups inland, where you're just 3 or 4 feet above the ground, you can just kind of build that foundation and roll it right on.
Wow. So you have to crane these homes on in certain areas on the West Coast.
Yeah, especially when they're up 10 feet, because there's just, even with a trans lift or a standard lift system, it's just too high, and there's just not enough machinery. There's one system that Dad's looking into getting called the Phoenix lift, where it actually raises everything, AC unit and everything, all one system that he's looking into purchasing, but hasn't gotten there yet.
Is that like a variation of the translift? Like a different approach?
It's like a translift on steroids.
Yeah.
It's like a hybrid between like a translift and a crane.
Phoenix lift.
The Phoenix lift. It looks really cool. Dad's super into it. Been on his mind a lot lately.
Yeah. So
when you have to put these homes on blocks, right? Inland set, 4 feet's a little maybe on the higher side,
Yeah,
but that's not. You don't have to have a crane. You can do that with a translift. You just got to block it up the right way. Make sure that you have safety. You've got some extra blocks there, cribbing and what have you. What point
absolutely.
do you top out where it's like, yeah, we need a crane?
Um, I would say that 7 to 10
Seven to ten
feet,
feet.
yeah, unless you got a really solid system in place. But it seems that craning is, as long as the park allows it and you have room to maneuver, it's definitely the safest option, believe it or not.
Not
Just
the
to avoid
cheapest though.
just to avoid that tilting and falling and a lot of anxiety. Craning, you just drop it straight down and get everything right on point.
So how does that work? Help me understand. Getting a home up to 7 feet without using a crane. Because a home that's huge. You can't just like lift it up and it doesn't just all go up at once. I would imagine you have to do it in sections. This part comes up and then this part, then that part, and then that. Like, how do you do that? Can you walk us through it?
Well, you know how the houses come in halves. The one that we're doing right now, the kitchen side is a little over 19,000 pounds, and the living room side is just over 16,000 pounds. So you get the one half lifted up in the air. Typically, they start with the heavier half, and they place that down, and they place it onto the blocking pattern. And all that blocking pattern, all that foundation is not solely dictated by us. That's engineered blueprints. That's soil testing. That
Mm-hmm.
is, soup to nuts, a full build, all approved by the county. And they place the first half on there, and then they come in on the other side with the other half, and then we just do your basic setup where you're mating the two halves together, your joists, your beams, everything comes together as a standard. A lot of scaffolding when it's that high,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just being able to crawl in and out of the house, because there's nothing there yet. So a lot of scaffolding, a lot of ladders, and getting everything put together. And then as soon as you get everything all mated together, you get everything all placed together, that's when you would build the steps, whatever the customer or client would want, whether it's a 4x4 platform with steps going
Mm-hmm.
down, or if they want that lanai with the steps going down,
So
and
that.
so that way you can get in and
Mhm.
out easier.
So that's a crane set. That's how you do that. And
Yeah,
so you got your guys, yeah, they'd have to be on scaffolding to get under the home to lag it together.
right,
And then by the time they're lagging the top of the home, they're going to be over 20 feet in the air in some cases.
right.
That's a lot. Oh, that's
But you're
wild.
definitely out of the water.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. You don't have to worry about that. Oh my
No.
goodness. So, all right. So if you don't have a crane and let's say you're going like 7 feet tall and you don't have a crane, how do you get to that 7 foot mark? You build the foundation up, you build the blocks up and lift the home up. How does that work?
Yeah, yeah. So there's two different ways. You can either do it that way if you have a good lift system in place and you can get it that way. Otherwise, a lot slower, a lot more drawn out process is going starting at 4 feet and then raising the house just like we would do for leveling a
Mhm.
mobile home, or and getting that kind of, or subfloors and things like that, where you just go little by little with jack systems, and
Yeah.
you go up a foot, add another block all the way around, go up a foot, block it all the way around, put your pads in, put the ties in, and just go. It's a lot slower process, but that would be the other way to do it.
Yeah. So when you say little by little, we're talking like a couple inches. You do the jacks there, a couple inches, run to the
Yeah, it
next
was
jack,
by
jack
cinder block,
there.
block by block, and most of the blocks that they want us to use are 12 inches, so
Okay.
it'd be a foot at a time.
Yeah. And so then when you say lift system, what does that mean? If you have a good
So
lift
that's
system.
actually kind of an L like this with the house in the middle, and it would raise the home up each end.
Really?
So there would be four, for instance, the Phoenix lift, that Dad's really obsessed about right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's four pillars on the four corners of the house, and
Mm-hmm.
they're ran by generators, and they would lift the house up with the house in the middle like that. And there's another
Wow.
forklift or another system lifting up the AC and everything like that as well.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then there's the Halo system, which is what they use by crane, where it actually sits over the house
Mhm.
like a halo, and that would lift it up as well. But that's using craning. So
Wow. Who builds these things?
I don't know. The Phoenix lift is a patented system out of Texas. And the guy actually owns a lot of mobile home parks out in Texas, and it's his own system that he patented and everything.
Mhm.
The Halo, I believe, is the Halo lift. I don't know who exactly creates that. But otherwise, the old-fashioned way of just going block by block with jacks, just like if you were leveling a mobile home.
Yeah, that's crazy. You'd have to, and like you said earlier about like anxiety, you have to know what you're doing with that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. There's this is people's house, their biggest investment. And you definitely don't want to be making a call to Quinton saying, "Hey, send me another half," because
No, you don't want that.
no,
No, and the you're not just hanging that home in a balance, but like, that's also in the balance of things can turn really quickly. So
yeah,
you just
especially
gotta
if
know.
there's 20-mile-an-hour winds or
Mm.
storms coming in the summertime and things like that. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah. You can't have a house like halfway up when a storm's coming in, gonna blow
right,
it off, and it's not even all the way up,
right,
let
because then
alone
you're
five
even
five
putting
down.
you're putting the machines in danger, and if you're craning, those guys don't want to be operating like that either.
So when you do that stuff, do you have special crews that you send on jobs like that?
We do. Only people who are knowledgeable and have the experience to handle raising a host that high. Standard mobile home crew can handle the basic setups, but when you're going that high, you got masons involved building the foundations. You got craning companies involved that are specialists, that function the cranes. And then you have the mobile home installers that are mostly just focused on the mobile home install, getting the
Mhm.
two halves put together and set in place. And then, anchors and ties like that when you get that high too is a special
Mhm.
person that can handle that too.
Yeah, how do you anchor that? I mean, you just have straps that go all the way down to the anchor in the
Right.
ground.
And the foundation and the blocking is a lot. That
Mhm.
those are all to specs by engineers here in Florida who understand the wind zones and understand the loads
Mhm.
and the calculations and things like that. So a lot of that stuff will hold, but still Florida code wants you to be anchored and tied down. So you still have your longitudinal
Yeah.
ties and you still have the anchors on the sides.
Yeah, so then how would that work? Because you have your anchor. For those that don't know, it's an auger that goes into the ground. It's got a head where you put a slotted bolt through there, and there's that steel strap that connects the home to that bolt that's slotted through this head on that anchor.
Yep.
Yeah, every 4 to 5 feet you're gonna have that. But if you're 10 feet in the air, then is there 10 feet of strap going from the head of that anchor at ground level all the way up to the home?
There can be, unless the engineer designs the permanent foundation we're setting it on to be adequate.
Okay, yeah, that's what you want. Otherwise, it would look pretty tacky.
Right,
It's like,
especially because this one guy in Bradenton wants to use it underneath as car parking, like a garage.
yeah, so you
So
don't
yeah, you can't be
straps.
driving through that.
No, no, you can't. Man, so you got one crew or a handful of guys that you're gonna send on a job like that. Your other crews, they're gonna be doing your normal 3 foot, 4 foot, whatever. Those 3 block, 4 block sets. They're
Yes.
gonna be handling those. How many jobs are you guys doing in a typical week, in a typical month?
Um, between you guys and a couple other people who send us that want us to write up estimates and do that, I would say it's between 2 and 3 a month.
Yeah.
And some of our projects last a long time, especially if they want to do, we consider phase one the setup. Phase
Mm.
two would be, the skirting and the siding and any other finishing touches they want if they want gutters. And then the final phase or phase three would be the carports, the sheds, and really
Mm.
making a home, the
Yeah.
lanais, things
Yeah.
like that. So some of them can be drug out a long time. Um, especially nowadays where the people want the permanent foundation, just engineering's taking 2 to 3 weeks
Yeah.
to get that done. So they're tough to line up and get everything done in a real quick fashion. But some of them drag out a long time, but the standard setup we can get done within 3 or 4 days, and
Yeah.
get all the inspections done and everything
Yeah.
like that, and get your CO issued.
So when you're saying 2 to 3 homes per month, it's not just like the block level tie that you're doing. You're taking on the majority of the job, half of the job, all of the job, and you're not doing the electric, the AC, and the plumbing,
No,
right?
no. Most of our proposals that we write on there is electrical and AC work done by others.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can do the water and sewer hookups under the mobile home installer license. We can do the anchors and ties. We can get the house put together, everything like that by ourselves. But electrical and AC, those are really specialist jobs.
Mm.
And the prices have varied so much over the last few years, where we just feel it's better for the owner to deal with them directly.
Yeah.
Especially in vacant
Yeah.
raw land situations where there has never been electric before, we wouldn't even know where to start to quote that
Yeah.
for
I
it to
know.
make sense for us. And some of the new homes have the split units built into the house where you don't need an AC guy. Some guys
Mhm.
want, a full two,
Mhm.
3 ton system for a mobile home, and
Mhm.
it's that way it's on them. They can contact who they want, and they can try to find the best deal instead of going through us and having to
Just
deal
makes
with them.
Yeah, makes sense for that. That's good. So your father, he was also still in the business, or after,
Yeah.
what Hurricane Ian, he handed stuff off to you?
I really just started helping him out with back end stuff and permitting and getting everything all put in place so him and the guys can just accept delivery and get everything all
Okay.
handled. Mostly here in the back end of things. He handles the sales and the installation and things like that.
Okay. Is his name also Mike?
Yeah, he's Mike Sr. and I'm Mike Jr.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Is there a Mike the third?
There is, but he is only 5 years old right now. So
So you're not gonna put him on any jobs. He's
no,
not.
no.
That's so cool, man. That's so
Yeah.
cool. That's fun. So one more time, when did your father start everything?
Really doing mobile home installs. The first year of his license was back in 2014 is when he actually got his mobile home installer license. That's the first license here on the board. But
Yeah.
before that, it was siding, vinyl, carports, standard mobile home repairs, and the general contracting side of things.
Yeah.
And then he went and took his installer course. I think it was, I forgot what storm that was, but there was just so many mobile homes from the 50s and 60s that
Yeah.
just didn't make it through.
Got
I'm not sure
wiped.
if it was Andrew or Charlie or one of those things, but he saw a
Mm-hmm.
real need, and there was really no one doing it at the time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it was few and far between and hard to come by finding someone, and there was such a demand that he went and got that. So and then I added the real estate side of things, and so we can be like a one-stop shop for some people that are
Yeah.
buying a new home from you and moving to the area. We'll find them the land, find them the lot.
Yeah.
If it's a park where you can actually own the land. So instead, I think it was. I think it was right after COVID started. There was a single woman moving
Is
from
this?
Indiana, and she was just like, "I want to find a lot. I'm gonna buy a house, so on and so forth." And so we found her a lot in trailer estates here in Bradenton, and Dad was able to connect her with a manufacturer,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to buy her lot for her, find her a home, get the
Mm-hmm.
home delivered, set it up, get her the steps and get everything, and then she called back a few months later, wanted a carport, wanted a shed, and there was a big relief. Here's a single
Mm-hmm.
woman relocating from Indiana, and she only had to call one company instead of
Yeah.
having to shop it around and source it around and on and on. And
Yeah. Yeah.
you didn't know anyone here. And,
No. No.
after we did her job, it kind of clicked in our brains like, this is a real service. This is a real
Mm-hmm.
benefit to some people where they can just call one business and they could be able to handle everything, and soup to nuts and be able to get it all taken care of for
Yeah.
her. And it kind of clicked. We're just like, this is something, we should offer as a one-stop
Yeah.
shop kind of deal.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's great, Michael. Appreciate you sharing that. So, just one more time, just kind of run down what it is that you guys do. Again, this is American Mobile Home Services. of Southwest Florida. Just one more time, the area that you work in and what you do. You're an installer that does real estate. People don't run into that too often.
Yeah. So we're American Mobile Home Services in Southwest Florida. Our core area is from Pinellas to Naples, but we can travel. You just have to give us a little grace when we're traveling. It's pretty far away from our core area, but buying and selling land to place your mobile home on, buying and selling a mobile home, getting your new mobile home setup installed, any accessory structures you want, like carports, sheds, lanais, sunrooms, Florida rooms, things like that, we can all handle here at American Mobile Home Services. And we'd be happy for you guys to give us a call. We'd love that. We get new mobile homes from Quinton and set them up all over the place, and everything in between, really, except for electrical and AC. We don't do that.
Yeah, fair enough.
But there's plenty of them here, so you can find that.
Awesome.
But we love your business. We'd be grateful for it. We're a family business, and we're small, but we're mighty, and we can handle anything that you need when it comes to mobile homes.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt. Appreciate your
thanks
time.
for having us.
Appreciate you explaining everything.
Send us another customer. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I'll send you one right after this. Thanks, Mike. We'll see you, man.
Bye. Thank you, guys.